I wanted to give you some feedback from the first set of research papers. It's very clear that you're working hard to document correctly, as you know how important that is to be fair and in order to show the reader the reliability of the information you're using. What I'm finding, though, is that many people are only including documentation within the paper if they're doing a direct quote. Now, direct quotes have quotation marks around them, so it's pretty easy for a reader to see that this material came from someone else. The problem comes in when you're summarizing or paraphrasing, which means you're taking someone else's ideas and putting it in your own words. You also have to document this, even though these are your own words, because you're using someone else's ideas. It's hard for a reader to tell where the information starts if you only put an internal citation at the end of a paragraph. Instead, use what's called an introductory phrase. For example, Dr. Smith argues. That tells a reader very clearly where the information started. You then will have your internal citation at the end of the summary. It's very helpful, though, if the summary goes on for more than one sentence, for you to keep using phrases that will tell us that this still comes from a source. For example, Dr. Smith argues that the world is flat. He goes on to prove this by pointing out that every photograph we ever see shows a flat plane no matter how good that camera is. Then you give your citation. It's also helpful then when you shift to your own ideas to introduce yourself. For instance, I disagree with Dr. Smith because, and then you give your own ideas. Make sure also that you always put both internal and end citations. Putting where the material came from at the end with the bibliography or works cited page is very good. That gives us the publication information. But we have to know exactly what came from which source. So every time you use material from another source, unless it's common knowledge, a fact that no one disputes and everyone knows, you have to tell the source both inside the paper and at the end. Please let me know if you have any questions about this by emailing me. Thank you.